Alright. Hello, my lovely audience. Welcome to another video. So, yeah, don't really have that much to say. Getting into this what if, aside from, someone gave me a suggestion for it. Because I asked in a video. Anyway, so yes. Yes. Let us get on with the what if. So, we go back in time a couple 100 years. Like, let's say, about a year before Muzan went after the Commodos and, killed Tanjiro's family. A year. No. A few more years. Like, let's say 5 years before the birth of his daughter. Yes. Muzan would be thinking to himself that, well, the demon slayers are beginning to make ground. They are beginning to become more and more of a hassle. So here's what he's going to do. He's going to create a type of curse so that members of his bloodline, direct descendants, said individuals would be cursed with, well, being, let's say, demons in the making, as one would say, in the hopes of one day conquering the sun and becoming something greater. His descendants will have some of the blood of the upper moons and, well, the full-on DNA of Muzan. They are related, and so thus their blood is as potent as Muzan's. But also at the same time not, because they are presumably much younger than Muzan, so thus they will not be as powerful because they have not consumed as many humans. But yes, his descendants will be cursed with this miraculous ability. Well, so basically, until either A, his bloodline is going to die, or B, they find the blue spider lily, until one of those options comes up, they will be normal humans. But if those options were not to occur, but if one of those options were to transpire, they would go, give me a moment, I am back. They would go like full-on Demon King, Burp, and or Queen. So yes, time skip. Just after Muzan has died, just after the solar countdown, and just after Demon Slayer spoilers, if you don't want to be spoiled, click off. Pause the video, click off. I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So then, let us continue. Tanjiro has just been turned back into a human, but something weird's happening. The demons haven't fizzled out. They haven't gone extinct. There are still reports of them attacking. Their reproduction has just stopped. Ubashiki knows that this is not good news, that Muzan somehow found a way to preserve himself. So the demon slayers would stay around. And well, the demons, some would die, others would live up to modern day, just consuming people to the point where they just it takes entire squads of demon slayers to kill them. Entire troops, entire many battalions to take one on. But we're not at that point in time yet. As Muzan's wife in quotation marks, is carrying their daughter, her eyes would turn red and gain slits. Cut to modern day. Izuku Midoriya, in this case, in this what if, with red eyes, just ordinary red eyes. Well, no, cut to when he is 6. His mother would die from unexplained terminal illness. But luckily, in his inheritance, he would gain, the family manor. The family, not manor, more so house. Think of it like a traditional Japanese-esque cottage. Think like a combination of modern-day apartment and just think like a combination of that and traditional Japanese building. Muzan's old house with his quote-unquote wife. So he would live there and do odd jobs around the town to get money. Odd jobs around the town to get money. Mowing the lawn, raking the leaves, hiding a body, all that. Anyway, cut to start of anime. No, 5 months before the start of the anime. Yeah, 5 months before the start of the anime. Bakugo just beat Deku to a pulp. He's laying on the ground. But something in Deku would just snap. He would feel this desire, this familiar feeling that he is somehow better than Bakugo. Not only that, not only is he better than him, he's stronger, he's faster. He doesn't know why he's getting these feelings because, his body remains unchanged. He also gets this desire, this burning desire, to find a blue flower. Now, this blue flower has been fabled throughout, Deku's family. Yes, it has been fabled it's said that it will grant a member of their family immortality upon finding it. Deku had just put it off as, mythos, so on and so forth. Old traditions. But this desire to find the flower has seemingly been rekindled. This want, this need for that flower. Deku would get up, beaten, bloodied. One of his eyes can't even open anymore, as Deku would snap at Bakugo, yelling about how they were once friends and how Bakugo's changed so much and how he's become such a horrible person. This is around about sunset. Bakugo, extremely ticked off, would attempt to send a small explosion at Deku, but as we all know, the angrier Bakugo gets, the harder it is for him to control his quirk, and right now he is fuming. And just like that, Deku's body would get decimated. There would be a hole through his chest. Both of his arms would be missing, flung off. And you can quite literally only see one eye as the remnant of his head. And his blood would pool on the ground. Bakugo would just look at this before going home, not saying or thinking about anything. Those points in time where something happens and you just can't believe it, and you just want to go to bed and and wake up in the next day and see that it was all a dream. Bakugo is going through something similar. He he didn't think that that the explosion would actually do that much. He just wanted to put Deku in his place, but yeah, as he's leaving, the words that Deku had said to him are ringing throughout his brain and his memory. They are ringing like a bell. Well, you've changed. You have become a worse person. How could someone like you, with the temperament of a chihuahua, become the #1 hero, the symbol of peace? How can a narcissistic asshole like you become the symbol of peace? Are the words ringing throughout Bakugo's head. Whenever someone said it to him, he didn't really mind, because he just thought they were being jealous, but Deku was the least jealous person he knew. Hell, he wanted to become the #1 hero without a quirk. So Bakugo's going home, just thinking that this is a dream, a wake-up call to show where he could be going if he keeps this up. Yeah, that's what Bakugo thinks this is. A dream and a wake-up call. Cut back to Deku. The sun has just set fully, and as the sun has set fully, his body would begin to fix itself, repair and regenerate, as, well, a white-haired boy would, well, emerge from his leg, as, well, Deku's body is fixed. He would see the boy bowing in front of him, seemingly shivering. Deku not remembering what happened until it hits him like a truck to an isekai protagonist. Joke. But yeah, what happened would hit him in the face like a sledgehammer. Him clenching his fists at how, asshole-ish Bakugo is. Before Deku noticing the white-haired boy actively cowering and shivering and bowing on the ground, just like hoping he doesn't notice him. Deku would look at him before a string of memories of Muzan and what he, the words he's left for his ancestors, what Rui is, what demons are, what the upper and lower moons are, so on and so forth. And on top of that, upon the awakening of Muzan's blood within Izuku, his aversion to killing and consuming people, his disgust towards that, has vanished. Muzan's, DNA has essentially altered Izuku's brain to see the consumption of other intelligent creatures as not a bad thing. Taking on a similar philosophy to Doma. They are living on eternally inside of you. Upon these memories hitting Deku, he would look at Rui, who's still on the ground, shivering, absolutely fucking terrified. As well, Deku would raise his hand, Rui somehow getting even lower to the dirt, shivering more, until he would feel something gentle and soft against his head, gently patting it. This is something that Rui was not expecting. I mean, like, last minute you die, next minute you wake up in front of what is presumably your new master because your old one's dead. Rui POV. Well, changed to what Rui was thinking when he first emerged. As Deku's body is regenerating and he's still out, out cold, Rui would be thinking about how he died, how he let down Muzan after all he's done, and how, what happened means that Muzan's dead because of his stupidity. And presuming this new king, or demon king, even harbingers 1% of Muzan's mind, his so much as even 1%, Rui is dead. He is so dead. And, well, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. Muzan, he quite literally has his cells within him. Escaping is damn near impossible. He's dead, and he just needs to accept his fate. He just needs to grovel and just hope that maybe he could survive, even if he were to be crippled, if he were to go through the most unimaginable pain. At least he would be alive. Now, what's currently happening with him receiving headpats is entirely different from what he expected. Deku would grab Rui's arm, Rui beginning to panic, thinking that this was a new form of torture. Give me a moment. Lulling someone into a false sense of security only to punish them. But Deku's not going to do that. Deku may not be, afraid of eating anyone anymore. He may be a demon, but he's not a monster. He would pull Rui closer to him and hug him. Rui has absolutely no clue why this is happening. Is he supposed to feel scared? Is he supposed to embrace it? Rui.exe has crashed. That's what's happening with Rui. He would then hear Izuku shushing him as Rui would begin crying. Once again, all Rui's ever wanted in his life is a family. Now, cut to Deku's perspective. He is currently looking through Rui's memories, and instead of getting sad or angry, instead of getting angry or disappointed, he's just getting upset. He's getting sad. He's getting remorseful. Muzan was an asshole. He died in a painful way. Almost died, escaped dying, and then died in a brutal fashion. Not to mention the fact that he's just wanted a family, like a proper, loving family, and he had no idea how that works. Rui had no idea how a family operates, and everything just kind of hit the fan with Rui's life. Izuku, being an orphan in this what if as well, would know what that feels like. His mother has died in this what if, so thus he can relate to wanting a family but not being able to get one. I mean, who's gonna adopt a quirkless child with red eyes? The eyes, the red. Just imagine, your child standing at the base of your bed at 12 o'clock at night, and their eyes are red. Just imagine that. Well, also, fun fact, Deku's appearance updated. Yay! He also has the slits now. Before it was just two regular eyes, but, two regular eyes, just red. Now they have the slits. Now he's looking properly like Muzan Kibutsuchi. Except with the green hair. But, back to the story. Deku is just holding Rui close to his chest and holding him tightly. Rui feels warm and, affection. This is something he has not properly felt So Rui would just begin to cry, and cry, and cry. Deku patting him on the back and saying, "Look, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not like Kibutsuchi. You can cry. Let it all out. Shh, 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 shh. There. I'm here. Izuku's here. Aw, this is wholesome. This is a weird thing for me. I don't usually do wholesome things. If you know anything about my channel, you know it's majority pain and suffering, with a little bit of strange corniness sprinkled in." Izuku would pick Rui up, like so, and just sort of take him home. Take him home, as he would call it. Now, let me explain how this what if is going to work. Now, as of current, Izuku is not anywhere near comparable to Muzan. He's like in the extremely early stages of development of a Demon King. He has, like, I'll put him at 6. I'll put him at Upper Moon 6 levels of power, and so thus he can only really summon up, create up to Upper 6. Plus the fact that he is using his own cells and energy stores to regenerate them from a little bit of blood. As you would say, that is an extremely tiring process, even on a creature with infinite stamina. Because that stamina, give me a moment. I'm back. Had to do a few things. Yeah. So, let us continue from where we left off. I believe this was the point when Izuku had just taken Rui home. Yeah. Okay, give me a moment. Hello, I am back. The things I was doing just kind of took me out of the mood for doing the what if, so I listened to, a bit of music to get me back into the mood of doing the what if. Angry too, not that bad of a song. Very nice. Anyway, yes, let us continue. Time skip. Few months. Not months, like couple weeks. I'd say a month and a half. Zuko and Rui. Oh wait. The fateful day where Zuko awakened, essentially his blood, we cut to the Ubashikis. The Ubashiki family. The current head of the Demon Slayers, who is not suffering from the curse because Muzan is technically dead, would suddenly collapse to the ground as this purple cancer would begin growing on his head. As he would say in a shaky voice, "He's returned." Now we cut to the few remaining demons. I'd say there's about 100 of them. 100 of them in the entirety of Japan. Ancient, but still alive. All of them at once, as soon as Izuku opens his eyes for the first time, would get weak in the knees and collapse to the ground, as they would feel a presence and this pressure that they have not felt for hundreds of years. Some would be afraid, others would be joyful at the return of the Demon King. Man, that line goes hard. Damn. Yeah, that was a very good line on my part, in my opinion. Time skip. A few weeks, like half a month. month and a half, I mean. Deku's just walking around with Rui at his side as he would notice, well, a homeless man. No legs, sign begging for cash next to him, and he's sleeping under a piece of, newspaper. Deku would go up to the man, gently shaking him awake. The man would wake up and ask, "What do you want?" Deku would say in a sweet tone of voice, "Okay, look, I get you're in a bit of a crap scenario, so I have a proposition for you." "A proposition, eh? Uh, let's hear it. You ain't another scammer, are you? I ain't got a penny." Deku would hold his hands up in, a comical manner, saying, Of course not. I'm here for a proposition. I give you a little gift. This little gift will make it so you can't go in the sun, but you'll regrow your legs, and you'll be able to do things that only people with immense strength quirks or speed quirks can ever accomplish. Do things that the average human with the quirk that changes your hair can only dream of. In exchange, Deku would take out a piece of paper with the drawing of a strange flower, colored in, of course, with an unnatural blue glow. In exchange, you find me one of these flowers. Deal? Uh, yeah, you're definitely a scammer. I ain't got a penny. If you just want a flower, then, I can't do the accent again, I don't know why. Then, just just go to a flower shop. Deku would shake his head before saying, No, this flower is very, very special. You get me this flower, I will... You know what, I think it would be best if I just showed you. Deku would say, sticking his finger through the base of his neck, or the collar. You know that little V you have, on your collarbone at the center of your neck? Yeah, he would stick his finger right there. Man's veins would bulge as he would begin twitching on the ground. Burp. And his legs, which were covered in bandages, would suddenly burst from the bandages. His body regenerated fully. He doesn't feel cold, he doesn't feel anything. And he doesn't feel tired whatsoever. The man would get up, feeling much, much stronger. Deku would smile before saying, You get me the flower, and I make it so that you can do unimaginable things. He would say, snapping his finger, as Rui, who's done this routine with Zuko dozens of times, would use his threads to chop a tree in half. The man's jaw would be on the floor, as Deku would continue. Also, you'll never age. You will be at the prime of your life for all of eternity. How does that sound? Well, you're already going to be at the prime of your life for all of eternity. But I can make you much more powerful. Find me the flower, and I make your wildest dreams come true. The man would immediately begin nodding and bowing, thanking Izuku. Deku would just wave him off, saying, I'll know when you find the flower. After all, you have my blood in you. Him and Rui would walk away, the man being confused at the last statement before putting two and two together. Oh, well, best get looking for that flower. You see, Deku's doing something that Muzan did not. He's given the task to every demon he makes to find him the flower, unlike Muzan, who just had the moons doing it. You know, their sole purpose was to find the flower. But give me a moment. Okay, let us continue how to do something. As Deku would be walking, he would smell something. So would Rui. The scent of, well, ash. Smells like decayed human. They would go towards the scent, seeing a grey-haired boy, well, finish off a man who just attacked him with a slipper and a destroyed house. The boy would be crying on the ground. Everything he touches turning to, well, dust. Deku being Deku would still kind-hearted, just... I don't know how to describe it, you can describe it for me. Would begin walking to the boy, really just kind of glaring at him, not sure what to make of him, but him knowing not to step on, well, not to interfere with Deku's business. Deku would go up to the boy scampering away before saying, Get back! I could hurt you. Everything I touch is destroyed. Please, stay back. I don't want to hurt you. Zuko would say in a calming, sincere tone of voice, Hey, easy. I'm sure whatever it is that's gotten you all riled up like this, I'm sure whatever it is, I can live through it. I've survived worse. No, you don't. You wouldn't, you couldn't. Before the boy can continue scampering away, the blink of an eye, Izuku's in front of him, as Izuku would bend down and grab a hold of the child, bear hug fashion, patting him on the back, as the boy would begin, freaking out, accidentally grabbing Deku's back, a bit of it decaying before even the clothes would regenerate at a rate faster than which Shigaraki could decay it. So it's okay. It's not decayed. He's not decaying. Shigaraki would stop scampering and struggling as Zuko's on his knees hugging the boy. He would feel Zuko's hands against, his head, ruffling through his hair, like a caring parent. The boy would begin to sob even more than they did originally, repeating the words, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Rui just kind of off to the side, I'm pretty sure Izuku's quirk is, if he had one, would be calming scared children. I mean, this is, by technicality, the second time this happened. Rui would just say, looking at his fingers, before saying to himself, wait, why didn't I ever learn to count? 100 years, hundreds of years, over 600 years, and I still have to use my fingers. Wait, do I even know how to read? Shit. Oh, no. Deku hearing this and thinking to himself, well, I'm gonna have to teach him the ABCs when we get back. Time skip a few hours. Deku's figured out that when Shigaraki, if the boy who he's learnt the name of is Shigaraki, well, Tomura Shigaraki, I believe. I don't know what's, like, Shigaraki's name before All For One got him. I have the memory of a goldfish. I can just remember the fact that Big Shark tried to attack. Can't remember the fact that Michael Jackson was moonwalking in the background. Give me a moment. I have returned. Let us continue. So, yeah. Deku's managed to figure out the boy's name, Shigaraki. He also figured out what happened was because of his quirk awakening. And also, apparently, his father was a complete and total jackass. So, yeah. Deku's decided to be responsible and look after this kid because, look, if Bakugo has taught Deku anything, it's that hero society sucks. And a quirk like, well, what Shigaraki has, and, you know, how the world works, he's not, he's probably gonna end up as a villain otherwise. We got to All For One who just sneezes. All For One would just randomly sneeze for no apparent reason. As a girl with pink crowned cheeks and a bowl cut would say, "You okay, boss?" Yeah, just think someone's talking about me. And All For One would sneeze again. Cut back to Deku, who just shivers randomly. Anyway, yes, time skip about to the start of the anime. Yeah, to the start of the anime. Deku would be hopping around, just turning random homeless people into you-know-whats. Just, yeah, casually. Until he would smell the scent of blood. Lots of it. Also, scented candles. Like, not even the good ones, like, it's scented, it's like, not even gasoline scented candles, it's like this weird brand he doesn't even know. Smells like, Jehople. Just like this strange scent. He would follow the scent of human blood and scented candles until he would encounter, well, this group with, knives. Sacrificial ones. Give me a moment. Hooded figures, you can guess what and who they are. They're a cult. So Deku would do them the favor of killing the shit out of them. Now, how he does this is a bit different from Muzan. Now, Muzan's, art, as you could say, is the ability to manipulate his cells perfectly. So he can change genders, turn into a child, sprout bone tentacles. But Deku is more creative than Muzan. He still has his youth in him. So Deku, instead of just cutting them up, would create, like, full-on mouths at the back of him and just swallow the people whole. Don't have to waste the time chewing. Just swallow them whole. Now then, that Deku's actually going to eat a large amount of people, let me explain something. Now then, in this what if, Sanemi's blood type, the unique blood that people have, that's like worth 100 people. That blood that they had in Demon Slayer, that, in this what if, was the beginning of quirks, and, well, the concentration of it was just not enough for anything to manifest with, like, Sanemi. With Tanjiro in this what if, yes, he does have that blood type in this what if. In this what if, Tanjiro would have the same blood type, and, well, he would just have so much of it that his quirk would be a very hard head. Basic, but it manifested with Tanjiro. So just imagine every fight with Tanjiro being that if he lost, he was going to supercharge whatever ate him. Cut back to Deku. Since every person is worth 100 old people, as you could say, except for the quirkless, who were worth like 50. No, they were worth 100 too. They were also worth 100, like Sanemi. Yeah. So he's just eating people whole and exponentially growing stronger and stronger. He would eventually just, well, after he's killed everyone, he would hear the sound of breathing. Following the scent, he would go down a corridor with a bunch of cages, and he would see, behold, the derpiest of boys. Just this odd child who would just go, eh? Deku would just look at this child in confusion before saying to himself, Is my quirk attracting children? Have I actually had a quirk this entire time and just not known it? Like, he is legitimately contemplating this as the strange child would just walk up to him, crouch down, and begin nuzzling his legs. Deku would just look at him in a lot of confusion. Time skip about a month. So Deku's been doing some digging on said child, and he's learned that, well, he hasn't learnt his name, but he's learnt his nickname amongst his quote-unquote friends, that being wonderwisse. Now, the reason I put friends in quotation marks is because it's less so friends and more so people who are charged with looking after him in the mental hospital. The reason he's called wonderwisse is because he's, well, how one would say, both retarded and brain damaged. Now, he isn't actually brain damaged. From what Deku can... Give me a moment.